Hello everyone. Today I'm going to review this Cupcake tutorial done by Shanna. It's a really nice design. It's an intermediate level tutorial, so I'm going to explain it taking into consideration that you probably already know the very basics. So I'm just going to show the main things this tutorial is going to teach. And that is mostly going to be two main elements. One is how you get these nice design effects using the custom pattern loop selection, and second thing is the bridge tool. The remaining is just simple things. Okay, so to get started, I've already loaded the tutorial over here, and it starts with a 3D sketch. And as I said, these are basics shown in other tutorials, so I'm simply going next, skipping it, and it's making, we draw on a circle over here, and we're going to make a copy and move it up. Okay, so this is where it starts getting interesting. So we activate the vertex mode, and if you have used, and we go to the advanced settings, if you're used to these advanced settings and edge mode and a face mode while doing it for a mesh, you always have loop selection, but in vertex mode there's no loop selection on a mesh. But this is different for vertices, for profiles, I'm sorry. So if you're dealing with a profile, you do have loop selection even in a profile. So and this is what this is going to use, which makes it very interesting. So we just click the same way you would do for edge and face mode. You click on one and then you click on the neighbor, and it selects everything, the loop. But then we have the custom pattern. This is available whenever you have a loop. On meshes it's available as well. And we'll leave the default now. So it selects one, skips one, which you can visualize over here, the yellow, and so on. Okay, so we exit out the loop, and now what we're going to do is we're going to scale it. So we activate the scale, and we're going to scale it on the X to 130, and then we're going to scale it the same on the Z to 130. So we basically got this kind of a shape over here, and we're exiting it out. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to fill it, which is just going to round it. Instead of one vertex, it's going to make it into a view. We add level 3, so it's basically finalizes and it gets level 3. As you can see, we have 3 vertices on each side. That's basically, we had the initial one and we added 3 more vertices and rounded and that. So we basically rounded this profile. So now we deactivate the vertex mode and we select the other profile as well. So we have basically a circle and another shape like this. Which is we have done with this. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to simply bridge that, and this is what bridge is very good at, but we are going to do two things in the bridge. First of all, we're going to rotate it a little bit to give it some rotation, and the second thing is we're going to turn off linear, and we're also going to turn off the fill the first, and smoothness to 15, so we don't want to be so smooth. Okay, and we're finalizing it. So basically what we have over here is so far some very basic shape that is slightly rounded, and the offsets here are from the differences between the two profiles, but we also added some twist a little bit by rotating one profile. We added the twist, and the fact that you see these extra edges, we turned off linear. Linear means it will not add additional vertices, which means it will use constraint triangulation, and then it will have that effect that was not nice. But now we turned off linear, so basically it can add vertices and make it smooth like this. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add thickness, because this is so far just a surface. We have not done, doesn't have the inside, we didn't fill it, so we're going to make it to -2, filling it in the inside and finalizing it. So we're basically done with this part, and now we're going to just style it. So we're going to go first to texture. We're going to add a custom texture and click on add and load from tutorials, and it's loaded this as always. You load from browsing, it loads the texture, and then you have to click on it to select it, but as you can see, this doesn't look any nice because we have to adjust the UVs. So we're going to go to UV, and in the UVs we are going to use the face UVs, not custom unwrapping, just simple face UVs in this case, and finalizing it. And we are done with this. Okay, so now we uncheck this, we select the profile again that we worked before, and we're going to make another copy of it, and now we are going to isolate the copy. Okay, so we have this profile again, and we're going to go again to vertex mode, but now what we're going to do, and again to the advanced selection, loop selection, but now we're going to play with the loop selection. So let's see, so I'm going to select this loop, this vertex and this vertex, so selects everything. It remembered from before that the custom pattern is on, so selects one, skips one, but we are going to change the skip ratio. So we're going to skip 3. So in this case, if you skip 3, you see it's selected because we added 3 vertices over here. So it's a nice pattern that we can select. We selected 1, we skipped 3, so it means it selects all of the peaks, the minimum and the maximum, min, max. That's basically what we selected over here. And we're closing this, and now we're going to move it. Last time, if you remember, we scaled it. Now we're going to move the Y to 60, meaning is we are simply moving it down, okay, something like this. And now we're also going to scale it, the same selection. Instead of 122.02, we're going to make it to 135. So we scale it out, and also the same over here, 135. So what we did over here is we basically moved these down and scaled it out. And now we're going to go back to the vertex mode, turn off vertex mode, and select this one over here, and we're going to inverse select. So we select basically this one over here. So we've selected this profile, and we're going to move it up to 80. So what we did over here is we have some, this is the copy. If you remember, initially we did a copy. So we have now the original one, and then the copy is already modified. We exit out this, and now we select these 2 profiles. So now we're going to go again to the bridge tool, same way we did before. And it's the same idea. While linear is on, it uses only available vertices, which in this case is not nice. So we turn off linear, and we set the smoothness to 5. So making it like this, and we finalize it. Okay, so now we go to polygon mode. So we have the basic already of this, but we're going to select this polygon, continue modifying this shape. We're going to extrude this and click apply. So it extrudes it the default of 5, and we finalize it. So we basically have here 2 segments of 5 and then another 5. And we're going to scale down this face, so it's going to scale what we have done over here. As you can see, we don't have the edge mode on, so you can see it from here. If we scale it down in both directions, you can see it scaled it because we had 2 segments. So this was the first segment of 5, then the second segment, and we exit out. Okay, so now we're going to extrude again another segment and click apply and finalize it. So we made again 2 segments and again scale it down. So it's the same idea. We make it to 95 and to 95. So we basically get this thing, and now we go turn off the polygon mode, we close this, and we go to round object. So we have here a rough shape that we have created, but we want to smooth it out. And this is where it becomes a little bit interesting, because if you see over here, we have a total of 6,000 polygons. The one that is selected is 2,000 plus, I mean 2,200 about. So it's relatively low poly, but now you can see the wireframe mode, how it looks like. But we needed to make smooth. In 3 it's quite a lot, and depending on computer, I'm using a low-end laptop for this case, so it took even a few seconds. But you're finalizing it, and now you see we have 150,000 faces. So the look of it looks good, it's smooth, but it's way too high poly. So what we can do over here is a simplify object. Simplify is kind of like, it's not the inverse. Let's make it a 5. Okay, so it's basically final. It's not the inverse of round object, but it's kind of the solution, how to solve the problem round object is doing. So you want to round something, you make it very high poly, but then you can simplify it. It will still have the nice look from the roundness, but it will be simplified quite a lot. So we simplified it by down to 30,000, from 150 to 30,000. So it's quite a lot. Okay, so now we're going to use some styling on this. We're gonna color this, and then deselect this, and we select this profile, and we are going to copy offset. So we're gonna select which profile that we selected, the original start like profile. So we're gonna move it in the Y to 19, and we are going to scale it as well on both directions, so -24 and -24. Oops, I did 34 -24. Okay, and we're gonna make 2 copies. So basically, instead of going we did before, we moved it and scaled it. So we make 2 copies, and it's gonna be all done at once. So we have here the original, then a copy and a second copy. And now what we're going to do is we're going to deselect this, and we're gonna make another, while working with this profile, we're going to make again the X to -35. So now we're going to make it to -35, minus 35, and make another 2 more copies. So basically get this final shape over here, and now we're going to select these profiles that we work with. So basically not going to select this one, I think. Yeah, we select only the ones that we copied here, and we're going to use again bridge. So it's basically all using the same tools here. And now we're going to rotate this profile by, if you see, if I hover on it, you see actually it highlights the profile. So it's this the profile we're working with. We're going to rotate this to 25. We're going to rotate this by 45 and rotate this by 65. And then we turn off linear and we set the smoothness to 12, which gives us this nice cream-like shape, which is really nice. And we're finalizing it. Okay, so now what we are left to do is we're going to simplify it. So we're dealing with 11,000 faces. So we don't want to simplify it too much. In this case, we simplify it only by 3. And we are going to add material. We're almost done. So we're going to add again a texture, not material, texture, and a custom texture again. And click add, load from tutorial. And now we have 2 textures, the one we added before and the one this one. So we need to select this one that we just added. And we need to do the same thing, go to UVs. But in this case, face UVs is not going to be nice. Let's first see how it looks. We need to unwrap it. So we're going to go unwrapping and we're going to generate UVs. And this is unwrapping something so many faces. Yeah, it took a few seconds, not too long. But you see it unwrapped it and unpacked it over here. And it looks good over here if you can see. So we're just going to finalize it. And let's see what else we have to do. We have to click on this one to show this one, select this, and let's see what else I have to do. I have to select this one, and we have to isolate. So we're left with just these objects, and now what we're going to do is we're going to union them. So in this case, the union we can use a stitch and scoop, or we can use it from here as well. We have a simple union or control U. So I see the designer used it from here, simply unioning them together. And if you can see, we have over here 44,000 faces, which is quite a lot. And we are done. I just want to show you something after we are done. Actually, I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. I think I can simplify the entire thing and it will maintain the texture. That was a recent update. Let's see if I can, just for curiosity, I'm gonna simplify this. No, it actually lost the texture. Okay, so I can no longer simplify it. But that's basically, there's some other tools that keeps it, like round objects and the others, but simplify not. Okay, but nonetheless, that's basically done. So what you have learned over here in this tutorial is mostly working with custom patterns. We did it on a vertex mode for profiles, but you can do the same techniques on faces with these custom patterns on faces or edges on meshes as well. And the second thing is the bridge tool, which is a very helpful tool for these type of stuff. It's similar to Loft. The difference is that it relies a lot more on the existing structure instead of creating something else. So Loft is more like a surface-based modeling, a tool that is available in other surface modeling applications, and you just give it a frame and it creates a new object based on that, which a lot of time it offsets everything, and you don't have the precision that you want to have on the design. Bridge, on the other hand, is keeping your structure with the linear on. It keeps all of the vertices. Exact doesn't add anything. Being off, it can add vertices, but still it sticks to the profile structure a lot more, and it's much easier and faster. So yeah, so that's basically it. I hope you learned something new, and please let me know in the comments if you want me to show anything else. Thanks for watching. Bye.